They came into the Hall of Fame room and basically said, we have some pretty unfortunate news. They will be closing the Alfred State pool after the season due to a leak that they recently found.
At no moment in time, we're like, no, they need to keep the pool open for us. What we were upset about is that originally, after next season, they were pretty much going to cut the swim team.
People don't realize how the recruiting extends way out of New York State, and you two are prime examples.
My mom was actually the one that made me join a sport. I came for a visit, and I was like, I actually really like this town. I mean, it's small compared to everywhere else I've lived in my life.
It means it's fun. It means a lot to us when we get a good crowd and into it, start cheering. As coach can't actively recruit anymore because you can't tell a kid to come here and then there not be a season next year, and that kind of hurts.
Hi, I'm John Anderson. Welcome to our Bandwagon Sports Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the men's and women's swimming and diving team here at Alfred State College. And with us we have Gabriella Leite, a junior from Little Rock, Arkansas, and Jack Frieda, a senior from York, Pennsylvania. Jack does a little bit of everything here, the individual medley, which is very difficult. Also, he specializes in backstroke. And Gabriella, you do sprint, freestyle, and butterfly, correct?
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having us.
So this podcast is going to really touch on a few things. The success of our swimming program, which has been tremendous. What's coming up this year, because we got to get some more students and fans and staff at your meets. But what is made kind of national news in the swimming circle is the closing of the pool and how dangerous it could be to Orvis, which is really interesting. So I'm going to kind of get right into this. You will not have a home place to swim starting next year or really the foreseeable future because of structural issues. And we're going to go over a statement from the school in a minute, but I want to ask you guys, how did you find out about it, and what are your thoughts on that? And I guess, Jack, I can start with you.
Yeah, so I think it was a Tuesday, right? It was a random Tuesday before practice. Practice was actually deemed optional for a day, and that was weird. And we got called into the Hall of Fame room up in Orvis for a team meeting, and we knew Jason was going to be there, the athletic director, and he strolled in with a look on his face that was definitely not what we all wanted. A piece of paper, and what was the other guy's name? Do you remember?
Greg, the vice president of student affairs.
Greg Salmons. He's been on one of our shows before, so
yeah,
both of them have been great to us so far. So anyway,
they came into the Hall of Fame room and basically said, we have some pretty unfortunate news. They will be closing the Alfred State pool after the season due to a leak that they recently found that is apparently leaking tens of thousands of gallons a week. And it apparently has structural integrity issues for the entire building of Orvis, so they have to drain the pool as soon as our season is over.
And you're a senior.
I am.
So you kind of made it through. It almost sounds like COVID.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I made it without my season getting shut down or no home matches. But Gabrielle, you're a junior.
Yes.
What was your thought when this all happened?
I mean, I was pretty upset because it's my senior year next year, and at first it was like we all had like a lot of doubts because we didn't know if we were going to be able to have a season next year, because it was going to depend on whether we had a coach or not and whether we had like enough people on the roster to be able to compete. So at first everyone was just kind of all over the place, including me. Like, we all like walked out of the Hall of Fame room and just cried in the locker room, like all like the women's team. But yeah, I think that we were like upset at first because we didn't really know if we could continue with the season next year.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to read the statement that is on the school website, and this is the official statement from the school on this. It says, due to structural concerns, Alfred State will permanently close its swimming pool after the conclusion of the current swimming and diving season. A professional engineering study has indicated that without a years-long pool facility rebuild. Operating the pool could damage the building. Plans are actively underway to facilitate supporting the men's and women's swimming and diving program, and Alfred State will actively work to minimize the impact on current student athletes and other pool users. So as you see, that is the statement that's on the website from the school. I have talked to some officials in the athletic department as well as members of our buildings and ground committee, and they are, like you guys said, like you were told right off the bat, there's a lot of water leaking under Orvis, and if that pool doesn't close, the whole facility could just go into a sinkhole they don't know about. So right now, again, this isn't on the website yet, but from what I understand is since your meeting, they have worked out a 2-year deal with Alfred University to use their facility across the street.
I think it's a 1 year. Definitely next season they're going to have
Okay.
a season over at AU. And thank you to AU once again giving us a pool because we swam over there 2 years ago
Yeah.
for a season when we were getting our filter replaced in the pool.
Right.
Yeah. The first meeting that we had, they told us that they would entertain the idea of a season next year, but after that we were pretty much cut. So all of the current freshmen and sophomores in the team were pretty much gonna suffer from it the most. After a week, we had another meeting with them, and they said that now they will support the extent of our roster. So they're going to after the season's over, they're going to try to work a rental agreement with AU to get us to be able to use their pool for 3 more years until everyone graduates.
Well, this our podcasts are pretty popular, not just among students, but alumni and other people, parents and stuff. So I did notice on the website there is a job opening that has to do with director of giving and stuff with the school. So I guess it's kind of my 2 cents on this. We need to hire somebody who is going to get the funding to build a new pool and a new facility, and I don't think it's a crazy idea. I think it could be reality that if that becomes a focus to raise that capital, that we're not passing that along to the students or asking the state to raise taxes. I think it could happen. You look at some of the things that alumni or others have donated over the years to help student athletes or academics, libraries. It's pretty impressive. So I think the school, and again, this is just my opinion, and no one's told me what to say or not to say. I have to give the school credit. They don't mind what we talk about. But in my opinion, I think you guys kind of hit the nail on the head. It was like, okay, we're done. And then, wait a minute, let's rethink this. And like you said, I think, Alfred, you kind of bent over backwards for Alfred State. And I don't think this is a death penalty now. It sounds like, they want everyone to swim, and maybe we can get a new facility. So I don't know how you guys feel, but it sounds like you see a little light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of misinformation going on at first. Other people at the school thought that we were upset that they were going to close the pool, which we completely understand why they have to close the pool. At no moment in time we're no, they need to keep the pool open for us. What we were upset about is that originally after next season they were pretty much going to cut the swim team, and that's what we were upset about. But then now they're going to extend it, and they actually put a request in for a new natatorium in the new field house they're planning on building.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually when that gets approved and construction gets approved and all of that, then we can start actively recruiting again, because we can't recruit right now.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge that the team's going to face in the next few years. Coach can't actively recruit anymore because you can't tell a kid to come here and then there not be a season next year. And that kind of hurts definitely our men's team, because our women's team, how many seniors do we have? One. Yeah, our men's team, we have 6 seniors out of 20 guys. So it's a big impact, and since we don't have any incoming freshmen, it's going to be hard to keep up the good, numbers on the team without having incoming freshmen.
Well, I want to talk about the success the team has had and kind of what's coming up as well. And our Madison Herman shot some videos and photos of one of your recent meets that we're going to be able to watch. So the men's team, back-to-back AMCC and Empire 8 conference champions. The women's team just as impressive, AMCC champions in 2020 and 2023. And you guys have done this with 3 different coaches over that span. So we had Mike Shimahowski, and then Isabella Mariotti took over interim last year, and obviously what a success for both teams. And now you have Zachary Healy as your new coach. So let's obviously you guys were talking before our show about how much you like the former 2 coaches. What can you tell me about your current coach?
He's a really good coach and a really good guy. He's young. I think he's like 26. So he's fresh out of swimming. He was a swimmer in college. He went to SUNY Cortland, so not too far from here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really passionate about his job. He has explained to me that he really loves this and that he really likes what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Gabrielle. Same thing.
I think that, well, the swim team had like a really rough, past 3 years, especially like with all the coaching change and like last year. I think that Healy is like the perfect fit for, like, I think he is exactly what the team needed this year. In like terms of like balance and like being able to like know when to be friendly with people and know when to be strict. But I think he's honestly like what we needed.
Yeah, and if we can, I would like to see some video up on our board as we talk about swimming, because to me, swimming and wrestling have got to be 2 of the toughest sports in college. You know, you go from, you're living home, your parents kind of control your diet and what you eat, and so you get to college and sometimes money's tight and maybe Taco Bell's the best option. And for wrestlers trying to maintain a weight, for swimmers, trying to keep their bodies and their performances at top peak, it's difficult. And it's got to be tough when you see everyone else kind of eating what they want. And But can you talk about the challenges of staying an elite athlete at the NCAA level? What has it been like?
It's been pretty tough. It's definitely an adjustment from high school swimming because obviously the season's a lot longer, which you don't really realize. I mean, we started in October and we're not going to end until February. It's the longest season, I think, of almost any sport on campus. Plus, we train over winter break. But we're in the pool sometimes 2 times a day for 2 hours each. Eating enough food is sometimes a challenge. It's when you feel like you're full, you just have to keep eating more to maintain, your body weight without shriveling down.
Yeah, one of the struggles I have with like morning practices, for example, is that I can't really eat a lot of food like as soon as I wake up. So it's just one of those things that, do I choose to wake up really early in order to be able to eat, or do I choose to sleep, like to like rest my body? But I'll usually like eat like a couple granola bars and just hope I'm able to make it through a practice.
Yeah.
So you're sitting in class, you're trying to carry your stuff in a backpack, and you do freestyle butterfly.
Mm-hmm.
Do people around you in class realize how sore you are or the pain you're in?
They don't.
They don't.
That's got to be tough too.
Yeah.
So now I got to come back to why? What drives you? So Jack, what did you do in high school? What sports did you play in Pennsylvania, and why did you decide on swimming?
In York, I went to West York High School, and I was a 3-sport athlete. I played soccer, I swam, and I ran track. And then I did some swimming over the summer and soccer over the summer as well. But I came here, honestly, not even for sports. I came here for school, looking at a good mechanical engineering program. And the swim coach, I knew was like building up the program. I got contacted by him, and we sat down. We had a conversation, and he told me, you can go to a better school, and you can be one of their bottom guys, or you can come here and be a winner. You can, do something important, make history. That's what we did, and that keeps me going.
Yeah, it is, and it is special. You'll have that bond with your teammates forever. You will have those championships. You guys are part of history here at the school. It's a great thing, and sometimes you go to larger school and you're not a major spoke in the wheel, and you guys are both major spokes in the wheel. So I guess kind of the same thing with you, Gabriella. First of all, how did you find Alfred State from Little Rock, Arkansas?
So I was like born and raised in Brazil. And then my like dad got promoted, so we moved to Little Rock. And then
Which still doesn't even come close to.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking.
But Mike, the coach that he was talking about, the same one that recruited him, he started like talking to me and like basically telling me the same things that he told him, that he's like building the program from the ground, and like he thinks I can like be a really big part of the program and all of that. And I came for a visit, and I was like, I actually really like this town. I mean, it's really small compared to everywhere else I've lived in my life, but I've always liked the smaller place. So.
Wow. Yeah. So Mike Schmahowski, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Schmahowski.
Schmahowski.
Yeah, it's a tough word to name.
But he, again, like a lot of the coaches, people don't realize how the recruiting extends way out of New York State, and you two are prime examples. So what is your major, and what do you want to do when you graduate?
So I'm dual majoring in accounting and business administration. I actually get my accounting degree in the spring. What I want to do is something related to like management or accounting. I would like to find like some job in the field that I can maybe do both and like maybe juggle. I really like accounting. I just don't think I can do it for my entire life.
So accounting probably isn't a hobby. What hobbies do you have? What do you like to do outside of swimming and accounting?
I like to draw a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I took a lot of drawing classes in high school, and whenever I like do have free time like here, like I'll draw, which isn't that often, especially during swimming, but
That's interesting. I think one of the biggest secrets of Alfred State is our digital media and animation department here, which we have a lot of. We over the years and even now, we've got some tremendous students who are part of the Bandwagon Club who've done that. So I got to put you on the spot too. You did talk a little bit about your major, but what do you want to do, and what are some hobbies that you have outside of swimming?
Yeah, so when I graduate with my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, I'm hoping to, start off as just a, basic engineer at any other firm, like you kind of have to, and eventually, many years down the road, hopefully have my own business in aftermarket automotive parts.
Nice.
Something like that.
Which now, when I talk about best kept secrets, when it comes to automotive or anything with vehicles, Alfred State is not a secret. Everyone knows.
Yeah.
It's one of the best schools in the nation when it comes to that. I remember, I think it was 15 years ago or so, I was at a NASCAR event. It just seemed like every other garage had an Alfred State graduate, either working, driving, managing. It was insane.
Yeah,
So
when I first came here, I was thinking about doing 2 and 2 of the automotive major and the mechanical, the associate's degree.
Yeah.
But I decided to just stick with the mechanical.
Yeah, and the things that the projects that happen over on the Wellsville campus and then here, it's just unreal to see sometimes. So I guess the next thing I want to ask both of you here is, to get to where you are now, you've had to have some positive influences in life, whether it was parents, friends, or other coaches. And I'll start with you this time. Who have been some of the big influences in your life?
My parents have been very supportive of pretty much anything I really wanted to do. They were, they let me play all the sports. They let me, they drove me to practice every day at, 5 a.m. They got up and, toughed it out just like I do. And I'm really appreciative of that. And it's hard for them to come up for meets because, I live 4 hours away. Mm-hmm. But when they do, it really means a lot,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question.
They've probably been my biggest supporters.
I'm going to ask the same question of you, Gabrielle.
Like Jack said, my parents have always been supportive of me until, even now. If there's anything I want to do, as long as it's, reasonable, they'll be like, we'll support you with, whatever decision you make. My mom was actually the one that made me join a sport because she said that I had to do something. So I was like, okay, because I, done a lot of sports in my life. But then I stopped for a little bit, and then my mom basically, forced me and was like, you have, to do something to, be active. And then I was like, I'll just do swimming, and then...
Wrong choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you're watching this right now, and it's December, early January, get out your phone and go to your calendar and mark down these 2 dates. January 20th, home meet against Fredonia. January 27th, home meet against Hartwick.
That'll also be our senior meet.
Which is senior meet, which means Bandwagon should probably be there covering it. It's going to be a big one. You've had some crowds when, your parents, like you said, parents have been very supportive for all the swimmers. And a few times when the different teams were supporting each other, they were showing up. But what's it like when you do get that support from other student athletes? And, how much fun is that when you get a good crowd at a meet?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, swimming is definitely not a fun sport to watch. I will admit. No one wants to go to a 4-day invitational when you have to watch 5 heats of the mile. It's boring. We get it, but it means it's fun. It means a lot to us when we get a good crowd and they get into it, start cheering and stuff.
Yeah, it's like the senior night on the 27th. That's not going to be like an all-day affair.
No. That'll be 3-hour meet max.
That's what I'm saying. So it's not out of the realm to show up to that and cheer, right? And it's going to be a little bit of an emotional meet as well. So
definitely that.
Yeah, same thing with you. How do you guys feel when your friends show up?
I like Jack said, it feels good to see support, not only from your parents, but from friends and other athletes on campus. Whenever I can, I try to go to their meets or competitions and support them too. But yeah, like Jack said, some meets are better than others to watch. Some meets will have longer events, other meets won't. But usually our dual meets will be ranging from 2.5 to 3.5 hours. But like he said, usually our 4-day conference or invitational, we're swimming prelims and finals in the same day, so it does get pretty boring to watch some events. But
yeah, and while most students are still going to be enjoying their break, working second jobs or a job or making money, January 7th through the 15th, you guys are going to Arizona for a training trip?
Yes.
Have we not talked about getting up at 6 a.m. for practices isn't enough? Can you talk about this training trip? Because I think the funniest part of the training trip to Arizona, you guys are looking forward to the work. So
we
Jack,
are.
Go ahead.
It's weird because if we weren't going to Arizona, we'd be here. And we come back January 2nd from winter break, and we're training doubles that whole 3-week period until classes start, which sucks. So we say, hey, well, we'd rather be anywhere else but snowy Alfred in the middle of winter. So
True.
2 years ago, we went to Florida, and that was really fun. We got to hang out on the beach, after morning practice, and then hit the pool. Outdoor pools are really nice. They're really cool. And we get to swim long course 50-meter pools, which is a big change for us. It's fun.
Yeah, how about you, Gabrielle? What are you looking forward to?
I'm definitely not looking forward to swimming long course.
What?
It's awful, but yeah, I feel like it's so nice to get out of here and just have a change of scenery and be with your friends and be able to go to a different place with your friends because, yeah, we are training twice a day, for 2 hours a day. But you're with your friends, and it kind of feels like vacation because you're somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it it just takes a little bit of the stress off.
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, I want to thank both of you for being here. I think obviously we're going to do some more, and just a little bit of a teaser. We may have a little bit about this training trip coming up with you guys, and also the senior night and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate your time, and again, Gabrielle Leite, international sensation from Brazil and Little Rock, Arkansas, and of course Jack Frieda, who is from York, PA, and a senior. And congratulations, by the way, on a great career and all your team honors. So thanks, everyone, for watching this edition of our Bandwagon Sports podcast. I'm John Anderson, and we will see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.